Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Grown Ups, the podcast. Hi, Ellie. How are you?
Hey girl. Happy Monday, everybody. I'm good. It's the weekend as we record this. It's good vibes, chill. I mean, we've had some technical difficulties today, so
Classic. What's new?
yeah, we're praying this episode is nice and smooth. Do you have any life updates, darling? What's been going on?
So, this week, let me preface. Whilst I was traveling, I realized that when I'm traveling, I meet loads of new people and I make lots of new friends, and it's really nice and all of this. And I realized that when I'm in London, I don't meet anyone new. And I live in London. Like, London has so many different people and
Yeah, it's
stuff.
true.
So I was like, I should be meeting new people, but I'm very like in my circle, stay doing the same things. So when I came back, I was like, I'm going to try and have new experiences, do things that I don't normally do.
I love that.
And then I found out that there's this app called Time Left, and it's basically every Wednesday they do a meetup of 5 strangers, and you all go for dinner together.
Raw.
So I signed up to it.
Did you go?
I went on Wednesday.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I was with 4 other people. So you don't 24 hours before you get a breakdown of the people that are going. So the first is a breakdown of people's ethnicities. The second is of the industries they work in, job wise. And then the third is their star signs, like their birth signs, like Capricorn and stuff. That's all you get. Then 9 a.m. of the day, you get your location.
Shit.
So you put like, oh, I want to be roughly in this area,
Yeah.
and you know it's going to be at 7 p.m. But you don't know the restaurant. So when you get to the restaurant, like you say, oh, I'm here for time left, and then you go to your table. When I got there was only one other girl there.
That's quite nice.
Yeah. I was like, okay, this is nice. And then everyone else came, and then at 7:30 you get given icebreakers so that you can like talk to the group and stuff. And
Oh my god.
it was so cool. And like there were some really nice questions like, what made you smile today? What's your favorite book? Like, tell us about your worst date, stuff like that. So it was really interesting. I really liked it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And like, how did they match you with people? Was it just random, or do you have shared interests?
No, it's I think it's their AI that does it.
Okay.
But we were all roughly the same age. But you don't actually answer that many questions. You just answer like, do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you measure yourself for this and that? So there's not that many questions. So I'm guessing the algorithm looks at that and matches people based on that. But I highly recommend. Like, I would never
do this. Oh my god.
I'm definitely gonna do it again. Not like straight away, because I'm busy. But I will definitely do it again.
And do you think, like, out of those 5 or 4 people, you would see any of them again?
I have them all on Instagram. Like, I would definitely see like 3 of them again. Yeah.
Wow.
But they're all lovely people. And one of the girls, this was her second time doing it. She said the first time was when she was in Berlin and she was solo, like on her own. And she said it was great because people like were from Berlin and they told her like all of these cool things to do that she would never know about.
I can see the appeal in a foreign country.
Yeah.
Sorry, just creaking the chair. But in London, I'm so tired.
You do have to be in the mood to socialize.
Yeah.
But I really liked it.
No, that is such a cool idea.
Yeah.
Like, I love that for you.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Not for yourself though.
Yeah. No, that is really cool.
Yeah.
People are so inventive these days.
I know.
Like, someone sat there and came up with that idea.
But I think it's especially really good for like, say you've just moved here, you don't have your friendship group yet. Just to like, you'll probably have to go like a couple of times, and there's like a month membership that you can do. But it's like cool to like get to know people and like really get to know people that actually live here, not just people that are also traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Recommend, guys.
That's so good. I had no idea. I love it.
Yeah. How was your week?
Cool. Oh, guys, I feel like I mentioned this briefly on the pod, but we haven't actually gone into detail.
Yeah.
About the fact that I had this whole palaver. I feel like today is not the day. Like, we are tired. We've had technical difficulties. But I'm basically moving teams internally at my work. Which, yeah, there was a lot of political debate about it. So now I'm so quiet. Like, legit, at work, this whole week, I've been like, someone give me work, please. And I've just been chatting to the point where, like, my old manager's manager was like, Ellie, you have spoken for the whole day. He was like, why are you being so disruptive?
No, I'm dead.
I was like, I'm sorry, I've got no work. I'm like super open and honest at work. So I've just
Wait, did
straight
you
to
ask
it.
for work?
Yeah.
And they just didn't give you anything?
They'll give me stuff, but then it's like little stuff because obviously I can't get involved in
Yeah.
massive projects because I've got less than a week left. And then it's like, yeah, I've done that. What's next? Like, it's constant. Just
Well, enjoy the week that you have.
no, I know. But when you're in the office and you don't have work, it's painful.
Oh, okay.
Don't get me wrong. On Friday, it was a chill day, boy. I made some banana muffins.
Wow.
Like, it was nice. It's a little bit of admin. I've been helping like the guys below me. Guys and girls are doing the prep for the exam that I sat at the end of last year.
Oh yeah.
So I've just been reading through their stuff. I'm like, send it over. I've got some free time.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm super excited to join my new team. And other than that, yeah, no life updates. I'm also just like, what fitness challenge am I going to do next?
Yes.
Like, I feel like I'm in my fitness era. I need to try something else.
We are actually going running. We're going on like a run on Friday, but it's like
it's only 5K, isn't it?
I think it's 6.6.
Okay.
But it's like a fun run. Like there's like music and
Yeah.
well, I'm expecting anyways there to be music and lights and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. We'll record it and
We will
show you guys.
Yeah, actually we've got TikTok content there. No, I'm excited for that. I might need to do a run tomorrow morning.
I definitely need to do a run before.
Just to get some practice in because I have not run in the longest.
Same.
But it'll be fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, no major life updates from me at the moment, guys. Need to find my next exciting chapter of my life.
Yes.
Yeah. Into what we always start our episode with in this week's episode of Being a Dumb Bitch. So someone said, I was at work and had been waiting for a call all day. This being the one that would tell me either seriously good or bad news following a doctor's appointment.
Oh, I hate this.
Yeah, bruv, that's actually kind of scary. I was walking to a meeting with another colleague when the phone rang. I was super nervous, so I turned and ran into the nearest meeting room. I answered the phone, received very good news. Hallelujah. Did the general chit chat, then hung up. After hanging up, I breathed the biggest and loudest sigh of relief. It was only after hanging up that I took a moment to inspect my surroundings. And to my horror, I was not in a meeting room, but in the prayer room, where meters away from me, people were freaking mid-prayer.
Oh,
so damn awkward, but at least I got good news.
No.
Guys, I would actually want the ground to swallow me whole.
Me too, because it gives like people are gonna think like, oh my gosh, so inconsiderate.
Bruv. What are you even doing? Like,
how don't you know that that's the prayer room though?
It's true. It must look different.
Maybe.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen my prayer room in my office. Ever.
We don't have one.
Don't you?
No. But we barely have an office, so like
Yeah.
we only have an office 3 days a week.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Fair enough. I've never seen mine. I don't know what it looks like. I'm assuming this company just like did a botch prayer room.
Yeah, maybe.
That's wild. Rather you than me.
But let it go. Like
Yeah.
it's happened now. What can you say?
Hopefully it was a colleague that like you don't know.
Yeah.
If it's like your team members there praying like deep in their like religiousness and you're just on a call. Oh, it's not good, guys. It's not good. Maggie, guys, we have had a day of it, yeah. Maggie sat here fucking like yawning, like she can't keep awake. You should have had coffee.
I should have. Okay, anyways, let's ramp up the energy.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so we got sent a dilemma.
We did indeed.
So the dilemma says, I had an assessment centre for a job yesterday and it was hard. It was such a long process. It's a graduate job. Prior to the assessment centre, I had online situational test, psychometric test, and a numeracy test.
Fucking hell.
During the in-person assessment centre, they split us into 2 groups. One group did their group activity first, and the other group did their interview first, and then we switched. The group activity was really hard, and my group failed the activity. Oh no.
I feel like that's not that deep.
It's okay, yeah.
Because it's a group activity. Like, as long as you're presenting yourself well.
Yeah.
It's not that deep.
Because you're going to fail at things in your job as well. So, like,
Yeah.
maybe they're just trying to see, like, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, it's how you react.
Yeah, I think so.
Can you keep up morale?
Yeah.
But on the positive, the interview was really good, and I think I aced that. Do you guys have any tips for assessment centers?
Yeah, so this actually inspired our poll, but like I feel like we can give a little flavour ourselves before we jump into our poll. Me personally, I've only ever done 2 assessment centres in my life, and they were both online. And they were horrid. One of them, they called it an assessment centre, but I only had interviews. I had 2 interviews. There was no group task. I feel like it's the group task that is the worst thing known to man. Like, why?
I hate it because you have to like find a line between being confident and standing out, but not looking like you're taking over and being cocky, and like it's really hard.
It's horrible. And you're with people that you've never met before. Like, the reality of the situation is just, you're never going to have that type of situation in your job.
And no, you're not. And you're always like, you're trying to be nice to everyone, but then you remember, wait, I'm competing for the same job. So actually, I need to shine.
Step back, please. Step aside.
Yeah.
Yeah, my tips on assessment centers would be just try your best. Like, I'm trying to concentrate and Maggie's just shattered.
I'm so tired.
Just try your best. Like, in my personal opinion, obviously I'm not whatever you call person who runs these things, but I don't think it's about how well you do in the group activity, like whether you pass, whether you fail. I think the whole point of these activities are just to see how you work in a team.
100%.
Like, all you can do is be nice, be yourself, speak when spoken to. If there's like people who aren't speaking, bring them in, say,
yes.
Oh, do you have any ideas? I feel like your personality is everything.
It 100% is. And I think like, if you want to show that, because when I'm in these situations, I'm trying to show that I'm a leader.
Yeah.
So let me load. And literally what you said, like if there's a quiet person, I'll be like, and Ellie, what's your thoughts?
Yeah.
Did you man hear that? I asked what his thoughts were. And I think it's also when someone says something, even if it's good or bad, like you're like, that's a really good idea. What about if blah blah? Like you need to acknowledge other people's ideas are good and encourage. And even if you don't think it's good, you're like, that's a great suggestion, and then suggest something else. It's weird because you have to like listen to people and show that like you're actively listening and you're making the team feel good, but also then come up with something. So you're bringing something to the table as well.
It's so hard. Like, if you think someone's idea is shit and you know they're going to make you fail that group task, you can't be like, nah, step aside. Come on now. You're dumb. Like, that's not the answer.
Sorry, can I digress really quickly?
Go on.
This week at work, so obviously I'm in my new team, and this guy was doing a project and he asked me to like, he was like, can you just like have a look with me just to see if I've missed anything out, blah blah.
Yeah.
So we're going through it. It's his task, so like I'm just literally just reviewing, and I can tell he spent so long doing this one feature, which I'm like, you need to, in my head, I'm like, you need to take that out. Like, that has no place here. It's not bad, but it's irrelevant.
Okay.
And it's going to confuse the client because you're giving them more information than they need.
Yeah.
It's like basically they were aligning to something, to a framework, and you're now saying, and if you want to align to this framework, this is the information. They don't need that.
Yeah,
that's not what they want. So it's not like it's bad. And I was just like, I just couldn't understand why he did it. So I'm trying to ask, like, and so what is the purpose of this, blah, blah. Anyways, I'm new in the team, so I'm not trying to, like, ruffle feathers. So my manager called me, and I was like, look, it's really good what he's done, but I just don't know if we need that. What do you think? So if she says we don't need it, then I'll just be like, oh, okay, like our manager said blah, blah. And she was like, we don't need it, but he spent so much time on it that I'm going to leave it and just put a comment saying that there's some extra guidance if they want it.
Oh.
And I was just like...
She sounds too soft.
She's actually not, though.
Really?
Because it's not wrong. It's just like... It's like, how can you do, like... They want to know how to do good. And we're saying this is what you can do to be the best.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. Like it can be sent. But actually, to be fair, I'm intrigued on Monday. I'm gonna look because she has the fine. She's looking at the final document.
Hmm.
I'm gonna look if she took it out or not.
Yeah.
Because I was suggesting to take it out, and she was like, "He spent so much time on it. Like we
Bless
might leave it
her.
in." Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, anyways, it's really hard in the real working world to like
Yeah.
be like, "That's the bit shit. You should do that."
No, no, guys. I'm so sorry. We're totally digressing. So I did a piece of work. Bear in mind, I'm not the best at writing, but my industry, a lot of people aren't good writers. They're very like logical, numerical people, or they're really good at like going out and socializing.
Mm.
Um, so like great on the phone, very verbal, like verbal communicators as opposed to written communicators. I did a piece of work and it's pretty much copy and paste. You use the same piece for a lot of tasks. And it got sent to the colleague who was next to me to proofread. And so he's proofreading it now and he goes, "Oh, Ellie, can I ask you a question?" He's like, "I don't think this makes sense." He's like, "I know it's standard, but I think it sounds better like this." And he just basically took a word and put it in brackets. And I'm reading it and I'm like, I know my way is better. I'm not going to tell you I wrote this. And I'm not going to tell you that your way is wrong. Oh, please change it back. And it's like, I was like, "Oh no, I think it sounded fine how it was." He was like, "Yeah, it just doesn't make sense." And he left it how he done it, and his way just didn't make sense. And so we were just like, I can't push you any further. And that's what it is with these group tasks.
You can't. Actually, on the note of that,
Yeah.
my manager was actually working on like a track changes document with like other people in the company. And she kept saying this one guy kept rephrasing her stuff.
Oh.
And she was like, he's wrong. Like he doesn't understand. So do you know what she made me do?
What?
She made me train them. She was like, "Can you create?" It wasn't hard because we have these like in for training, for external training. She was like, "Can you pull out slides, blah 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 blah, to train that team because they don't know what they're talking about, and it's ruining my work."
I'm dying.
And I was like, "Okay." So she joined the meeting as well, and she was like, "So do you know what a green bond is?" That is literally like the whole company is like, that's basically what we do. I was like, I didn't. I'm just like, so a green bond is. It was awkward, but yeah, sometimes like
Yeah.
people don't know what they're talking about.
No, sometimes people aren't good writers, and that's fine. Like you need people with different skill sets. It's cool,
Yeah.
but just step to the side and let my man who can write write. Do you know what I mean?
We digressed completely, but the point is that like assessment centers are just to see how you like tackle these kind of situations. I think that's the
Yeah.
purpose.
Without a doubt. So look at us. I still can't tell people how to do their job. I'm still too nervous. I will. Yeah,
Same.
bruv, I won't digress again. But I think it's luck.
But I realized, as this all happened on Friday, I realized I need to learn how to do that. Because if I'm trying to be who I'm trying to be, I need to learn how to tell people, no, that's not right, in a nice way that's encouraging and not destroying. So
I think
I need to work
I'm
on.
just such an easy employee. Like if my manager said to me, "Ellie, change this to this," it's very rare, unless I know 1,010% my way makes more sense, that I'll be like, "No, I don't think we should." I'll just be like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Yeah, but that's if your manager. But if your colleague who's on your level says that,
You're not trying to be on anyone's level, are you? You're trying to be CEO, so
Yeah.
you only need to tell the people below you how it's done. But yeah, man, it's hard. But we did put this in our poll to get you some more tips and just to see what people's thoughts were on assessment centres.
Yeah.
And the basically 3 options we put up were.
Sorry.
I was going to improvise and I was like, it's fine. So it was thoughts on assessment centres, and then the 3 options were despise them, good way of filtering candidates, and never experienced one. And it was a straight 50-50 split between despise them and never experienced one. No one
thinks it's good.
And I agree with you. It's not good, man. It's not good. It's nasty. It's
But
rude.
then, from the company's perspective, when they have like 100 applicants, how do they filter it down? You can't interview 100 people.
Yeah, it's so true.
Although, in saying that, assessment centres usually take either a whole day, if not half a day.
Yeah.
No, but even then, no.
Yeah, I guess it's an easy way to be like, nah, they absolutely. But like this person who sent in the dilemma said they had a numerical test, a psychometric test.
Yeah,
It's too much. Like Jesus.
it's too much.
And so many people get through those tests and they're not the best candidate. Like you could be filtering out some amazing candidates through those psychometric tests.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think those tests should be done. I actually, you know what? I actually think I like assessment centers. Do you know why? Because I'm just thinking
Traitor.
from an employer's perspective, what makes or breaks your team is the people and their personalities. And you
Yes,
don't
very
get to
true.
see that unless you do an assessment center.
Fine. Okay, I agree. But I've seen assessment centres where sometimes they're related to the job that you're going into, which I think puts a lot of pressure on it because it's job focused. It makes like you stop thinking about the teamwork and you start thinking about shit, this is gonna be my day to day. Can I actually do this? I think it should be completely unrelated. So like one that I went to was about a charity. They were like, which charity would you invest in out of these five and why? And you had to debate. And I've heard of a couple others like that. I think it should be like that. So you're not focusing on the task at hand.
Yeah.
There's no like strict pass or fail. There's no right or wrong. It is just to assess your teamwork skills.
Yeah, I think that's good. We can agree on that.
Yeah. we should design assessment centers. Like, hire me, please. But yeah, a few people did send in some tips. So what have we got?
The first one, research. So research the company, the role, potential questions they could ask, and come prepared. You will likely have an interview, so practice lots of typical interview questions. I think that's great. And I think utilize the technology we have and put in put in chat GPT what come up with questions for this job description.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, and then you can like practice so you have something. And I always when I was interviewing, which hate interviewing. No, I don't hate it, but it's a nightmare. Like it's a bit of a process. I always had like case studies that I could bring into any.
Oh yes.
So it's like, okay, I know that I've done this or I've fundraised this amount. How like if I have these like 4 different examples of where I've done something cool, I'll try to weave it into any answer to make sure that I'm saying like demonstrating my skills.
Yeah, I love that. Can I just add, that so when I was looking to move teams, I applied to just one role because I'm like, I'm not going to apply to places for bants. I'm very happy in my current team. I applied for one role externally. And I always thought once I passed my qualification, it would just be like a little cheeky catch up in a coffee shop because I've already got my track record, Bruv, it was like, you might be invited to an interview, an assessment center. I said, sorry, don't disrespect me. I'm grown now. Like,
I'm telling you now, that I've been. Well, okay. No, I'm going to say it because I'm manifesting that I will never, ever have to go through the traditional application process. I am counting on my next job being through networking.
Oh, yes. Amen. I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
It honestly should be that way. Maybe that was telling me it's not time to move yet, Ellie. Like, you need to. There's still progression at this company to be had.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I didn't want to move. I just wanted to move teams. And I've got that now. So I'm very happy.
Yes.
So someone else said, try to relax. You do not need to know everything or get everything right. Your personality will be your biggest selling point, which is exactly what we said earlier.
But to that, and that's fine for me and for someone like you. But what if you're someone who's like really quiet and that's just not your bag? Like you don't, because those people deserve a job too. But like you find it hard to stand out because maybe you just want like an IT role. Like your role doesn't even require team building skills too tough.
Then I feel like the assessment center has to be designed around that. Like, surely if these people who design these recruitment processes are looking for introverts, people who are just head down, no chatty patty, surely they have to design, like me, surely they have to design the process to meet their needs.
I would hope so, but I don't know.
And if not, just make sure that one comment that you have is fantastic.
Yes.
That they remember you. All you have to do is do one comment that shines.
Yes.
They will remember you. Like, that is it. You need to be the one who talks the most because actually that person will probably not get the job.
Yeah, exactly. someone said practice makes perfect. Do not feel disheartened if an assessment centre isn't what you expected it to be. The more you do, the better you'll get. But who wants to do more?
I was about to say that too. I was like, I hear this fully. Like, I hear that everything is practice makes perfect. But at the same time, I do not want to do an assessment centre ever again in my life.
Can I actually, a tip that I think if you're not someone who like wants to do a million assessment centres, and maybe you're not someone who's like going to be talking bears and like being the loud one, just be really nice to everyone. Like as soon as you walk in, the receptionist, have you had a nice day? How's it going? Like, how do you find working here? Blah, blah. Prior to even attending the assessment centre, LinkedIn, message someone from there. And because I remember once I had an assessment centre and I'd messaged someone on LinkedIn. And then when it came into the interview, I was like, oh, and I'd spoken to Louise and she said that blah, blah, and that's why I really want to work here, whatever. So you look like you've done extra work. So you might not be the loud one, but you've got your noggers all correct.
No, I like that. I agree with that. And also the good thing about the lengthy recruitment processes is that it's not the assessment centre that's the be all and end all. Like there's other steps where you'll show who you are and why you deserve to be here and how you fit in.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can shine in other areas if assessment centres like just make you want to curl up into a ball. But also if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, it's not. Touch wood. Yeah, there's other jobs out there that don't require assessment centres because there's a lot of vibe. Someone said presentations are common in assessment centres, so get lots of practice in. No matter what the topic, practice presenting in the mirror, record yourself and watch it back. You said this before, I swear, about recording yourself.
For panels.
For panels, yeah. I feel like this is good. I've never done it before.
I never did it.
Yeah.
I was advised to do it, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, I've never done it. Personally, I don't think watching myself back would be very appealing at all. I think I'd cry.
Do you know why I didn't?
Yeah.
Because because of the podcast, I'm aware that I say like loads. I'm aware of this. Like I know it. I know like my mannerisms and stuff. So I know the faults. So on the day I knew how to behave because of that.
Yeah. I can't stop saying like. I've tried it.
Oh,
do you know I've been practicing it even when I say sentences? And I'm thinking of, I was almost going to say it again. I'm thinking about what I'm going to say. And I'm like, don't say it, Ellie. Just continue with your sentence. Cut that out. It's literally like a chopping board in my head. Like, cut that word, continue. Cut that word, continue.
Because I remember a teacher like used to get... I remember a teacher used to get really stressed out about it. And she was saying... It literally adds nothing to your sentence. Nothing. It adds nothing. If you chop it out, it's gone.
But it just makes it feel as though it flows a bit smoother or a bit more smoothly.
It does.
You know what I mean? It really jars me. I can't stop. Yeah. We'll try. Maybe we'll listen to this in a year's time and you'll never hear us say like.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Wouldn't that be a dream? Have we got any more for any more?
Yeah, we other ones we've mentioned. So that's pretty much it. But just go prepared, do your best. It's not the end of the world. And try to be friendly. So if they don't remember you for your intelligence, it's for your friendliness. If it's not for your friendliness, it's for how loud you were, or what a leader you were. Like,
or maybe how pretty you were if you got pretty privilege.
Exactly that. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck to everyone applying to new jobs. Very exciting times ahead. Just to round up this episode, guys, on the topic of like interviews, recruitment processes, etc., there was actually a news story in the news last week by the time you're listening to this that was so relevant and I just fucking love it. So I'm going to read it.
What's it say?
It says, John Lewis, I'm not going to do this whole thing in an accent because you'll be hearing a hell of different countries. John Lewis seeks to ease job interview nerves by revealing questions online to candidates at every level. Fucking hell. John Lewis seeks to ease job interview nerves by revealing questions online. Candidates at every level will know how they will be assessed before applying.
Amazing.
Lit, isn't it?
Lit.
Because, like, what is the purpose of not knowing?
Quite.
I may as well know. You're still going to get my personality through.
Yeah.
And also in a job, whenever you do something, you have time to prepare.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to give you time to prepare.
Yeah.
Anyways, c'est la vie. We digress. John Lewis Partnerships, the UK's largest employee-owned business, is seeking to make the process less daunting by publishing its interview questions for every role online for everyone to see. The company's move comes as many employees are struggling to find the right staff in a tight labour market. According to recruiter Manpower, 8 in 10 UK businesses face talent shortages this year. The group, which runs John Lewis department stores and the supermarket chain Waitrose, hopes that allowing candidates to see interview questions in advance will help them to better prepare and to perform at their best, widening the recruitment pool. And then basically they said, we want the right people from a variety of backgrounds with the best talent to join our organisation. It makes absolute business sense to find ways of helping candidates to really demonstrate what they can do. And then it says the move follows a trend for skills-based hiring in which a companies assess for specific abilities rather than traditional educational qualifications. I love
Fantastic.
it. Obsessed.
And I think like LinkedIn has kind of taken this approach by it makes you put in your skills. And if you put in your skills, then it will say like, oh, like let's match up jobs with your skill set or whatever. But I think this is great because at the end of the day, I remember when I was interning, someone joined who had a doctorate.
Yeah.
So she'd done a PhD. And my colleague, who was my manager at the time, he said, I mean, she's super intelligent, but she just doesn't fit into this work. Like, she's just like unaware and like completely. So I think actually allowing people to prepare means that they can really shine in the interviews because they're more relaxed and they're actually ready to talk about whatever task you've given them.
100%. For me, honestly, personality is key. Like, people can be taught things, people can be taught skills. Some people don't perform well under pressure. Like, if you know, imagine how beautiful an interview would be, knowing exactly what you're going to be asked. Girl.
Amazing.
I would shine, without a doubt. Like, are you mad? I think this is brilliant. I'm so here for it. And I can't wait to see the results.
Same.
Like, do they actually feel by doing that they have better talent in their organisation?
Yeah.
And then whether, because given it says, I didn't know they were the UK's largest employee-owned business.
Neither did I.
But in that case, like, will people follow suit? Will this be transformational for the interview process?
I hope so.
Yeah.
We don't. Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on. On that note of like just not knowing what questions are going to come up, not knowing what's going to be asked in an interview, what is the worst interview question you've been asked? Or a time where you've just like fumbled the bag?
It's a great question.
Have you fumbled the bag? Maybe you haven't.
I fumbled the bag, but it was online, so it didn't feel that bad of a fumble. Do you remember when I interviewed for Unilever? And I was so happy because I so badly wanted to work there. Now I can say it because I never want to work there now. Because it's not my industry, not because I hate them. Anyways, and I was just so unprepared. I was prepared, like, in terms of I'd done my research. I was just unprepared for the process.
Yeah.
Because it's like the camera's on you and I can see myself. And I fumbled, like I got stuck.
Oh, was this the question where no one's looking back at you?
Yeah.
The interview, where it's just you speaking to the screen and they watch it later.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm pretty sure, like, it was like, I was answering the question and like this, I just got stuck. And then I'm spiraling in my head because I'm like, I'm fumbling this. And now I'm talking about random things that have nothing to do with the question. So,
do they have, I've done one of those before, but it was so many years ago, I can't remember. Do they have a time limit? So that it just cuts you off?
Yeah, no? I think so, yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there was like a bar at the bottom, which was giving me more anxiety. Because I was like, oh gosh, I've said nothing in this whole time.
Yeah, those things are evil. I don't know why they do that. Like, that is evil.
It is evil.
That's just wrong.
What's your worst interview?
Do you know what? The only one that's got... Obviously, everyone knows I cried in my interview, so I definitely fumbled the bag. But
you didn't, because you got the job.
I did get the job, but still, like, it dented my pride. The only one I remember them saying was like, and I just absolutely had to make something up. Like, I had no example at all, and I still to this day I'm struggling to think of an example. It was, tell me about a time where you've been in a situation where you disagreed with someone's opinion, and it was like, how did you get your opinion across?
Okay, I've got an answer.
I was just like, what the fuck? bear in mind, I'd only worked in retail. Like, I didn't have a crazy example. My example was of a recent assessment centre I did.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, in an assessment centre, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, did you get the job? And I was like, yeah, I did actually.
But you were in an interview.
I know. But it was grad scheme, so they knew everyone got multiple offers. Like, to different, well, not everyone, but a lot of people would get multiple offers to different grad schemes.
Right.
Because you apply to so many. So yeah, I was like, you better want me now, bitch. Look, I'm in demand.
Do you know what? That's because how do you answer that without making you look argumentative or something, or like,
It was tough.
for me I think I have an easy answer, but just because of my industry.
Yeah.
And that was, I had an argument with someone at uni that they said climate change isn't real.
I remember you telling me about this.
Gosh. So that's quite easy for me to answer.
Yeah.
But in your industry, like, what's someone going to say? Like, real estate is what? Like, I don't know.
Honestly, I was so stumped.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst one I've had, where I've just felt so stumped, couldn't even think of an answer.
Mm.
Other than that, they've all been pretty general, and you can just practice online. There are so many, and they're bound to come up.
Do you know what? For the job, well, not this job, but for the first job I had in this company, one of my interviewers asked me what book am I reading at the moment, just out of interest. Like, just like, he was like, it doesn't have to be a technical book or a non-fiction. Like, just what fiction book are you reading? I think he asked first if I like reading, or maybe I mentioned that I like reading. I probably put it in my interest section on my CV or something. And he asked, and I had the book there, and I was like, I'm actually reading this book. And then I think that's a great question, because what if you read, if you don't peek? But it really got me like comfortable. It got me talking about something that I was really enjoying, so my passion came out a bit.
Yeah.
And it's just showing that I'm not a robot, and I do things outside of like working, obviously.
Out of interest, was it an educational book?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Wow. It was, I think it was The Mermaid of Black Conch, which is actually a fictional, mythical book about mermaids.
Mental.
Yeah. It's like a love story. Lucia bought it for me for my birthday. It's not my usual genre. But yeah, and I was just like saying how much I enjoyed it and stuff. And
love that.
So I think that's a really good question. Yeah, or like, if you ask like, maybe not a book because not everyone reads, but like your favorite film or what are you watching on Netflix at the moment or something, just to like ease them a bit.
No, I've said this time and time again, but when I was in my interview, like, me and the interviewer were just talking about like our nieces and nephews, and she was saying how her nephew or her niece, can't remember now, drew on the walls the other day, and like we were just having a little chit chat. I think you do just need to relate to people, and if they feel like you're relatable and they can get on with you, then they'll hire you.
You need the human side of it.
Yeah. Because your credentials are all on paper.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, realistically, what you do in that room for that hour's time, or however long it is, doesn't prove, to me anyway, how good you're going to be at your job day to day.
No.
I think, if they didn't want you, they wouldn't have taken you that far. It's your paperwork that gets you in the door.
I do despise, though, companies that make people do so many steps. Like, Joanna applied for a job, and she literally had to spend 4 days of her life actually creating these presentations and editing all of this stuff, because she works in the creative industry. So she actually had to prove that she can do all of this. But are you paying me for this? Like, no, it's awful. You spend days of your life preparing for an interview, and then to give me tasks, please.
No, it's so long. I honestly manifesting that I never have to do an interview ever again, unless it's in a little coffee shop.
Yeah.
And they're just having a chit chat to me about what do you want out of this? I also noticed, sorry guys, we're absolutely just rambling on today, but when I applied to that one job, when you apply to a grad scheme when you're first starting out in your career, or you're starting a different career path, so you're back at the beginning, I was just I'm applying anywhere and everywhere. I just want a job. Whereas now, I'm hold on, what are your benefits? Yes. Is it hybrid working? What is this? What is this? What is that? I was so fussy when I was looking for jobs online. I was literally, there could have been 100 jobs out there. I was no, there's just one job that I would consider applying to.
I 100% agree. Before getting this job, I was also considering leaving. I think we literally did the same thing.
Yeah.
And I was looking at roles, and I was no, I need to look into the company. Like, I need to
Yeah.
actually know what you man are doing. Like, how is it? I was even thinking about, because something that I'm really grateful for right now, when I go to a conference and I say where I work, people tend to know like what we do, and like
Yeah.
we're quite ahead of the curve. I want to, like, I want, what name am I attaching to myself right now?
Oh, yeah.
Can I represent you as a company? Do I want to represent you as a company? Like, what's your salary? What are your benefits? Like, all of this. And it's mad that now I don't know, it's weird because I can't say it for sure because I haven't got a job somewhere else,
Yeah.
but I feel like I can choose. Whereas before, I would take anything.
Yeah. No, because we're not like mad unhappy, we're actually quite happy in our roles. It's like, you're not going to leave a good role
No.
to go somewhere that has a lot of uncertainty, basically.
Yeah, that isn't better. Like, no way. And what does a big thing for me is like, what does my day to day look like?
Yeah.
And I literally, like, I had found a company that I was kind of interested in, and I spoke to someone on LinkedIn, and I was like, literally, what does your day to day look like? Like, how many meetings do you have? Because I'm also not going to be bombarded with meetings all day and not have time to actually work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend 80% of my time on Excel. That is not
Oh,
happening.
no.
Like, I want to know all of these little things. Otherwise,
Yeah.
like, it matters so much to me. My day to day is important.
No, girl, I was thinking about, you know, sometimes they're like, so when you finish an interview, make sure you ask questions. I was like, honey, I'll have no problem with this anymore. I have 101 questions. I just like, do we have another hour? Because I've got quite a few.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
No,
it's actually
completely agree.
intense. Moving like companies, bruv. I'm so comfy at my company. Do you know
Me
when you
too.
get to know people, like,
Yeah.
the thought of starting from scratch, establishing yourself again.
I've actually, sorry, I've got a question on your thoughts.
Yeah.
So this week, I've been going into the office a lot more since I got back from Brazil, and I'm trying to go in a lot more. And a girl dresses up. Like, I don't dress up, but I look
Good.
I don't look a mess.
Yeah.
And like, I always get complimented when I come in, and I'm like, thank you.
Love that.
Whatever. This woman who I really look up to, but she's kind of scary. Like, she's worked at like all of the big firms before. Like, she has a Birkin, for example. She messaged me and on Teams because I was still in a meeting, so I guess she didn't say it out loud. She messaged me on Teams and she was like, "Oh my god, stop looking so gorgeous." And I'm like, is she being nice or is she being shady?
No, I think she's being nice.
I don't know, because what if she's my head? I literally started spiraling because at first I was like, haha, thank you. And then I started thinking about it. This is one of those like spiral moments, like proper. And I was like, what is she saying? Like, why are you looking so gorgeous? Like, there's no need for it. Like, just
you're
dress.
trying too hard.
Yeah, like, just dress normally like everyone else. Like, stop doing all of. You don't need to do all of that. I don't know, because she's quite harsh as a person.
First of all, I doubt it, because if she's that confident and like, I feel like she'd say it outright. She'd be like, whoa, like, you're trying a bit too hard.
It's not like I'm wearing lashes, guys, by the way. It's just everyone else is not doing what I'm doing.
Secondly, I feel like if that is the case, then she's an absolute loser, so who cares? That's what I'm telling myself these days.
Okay.
Like, what a loser. Imagine she actually was being sarcastic like that. Do you know how, like, hashtag loser? That is just... No.
Hashtag loser.
That is, like, wild. Imagine doing that.
So you don't think it's shady?
No,
and
I don't.
And if it is shady, who gives a shit, basically?
Yeah, I don't think it's shady, because if it is, that is so beyond wild and embarrassing on her behalf.
Okay.
That I just don't think it can be shady. Imagine, Maggie, like, you deep in the situation. Imagine Teams in someone. Do you know what it's giving? Guys, it's giving Mean Girls. Do you know when she goes to her, oh my god, I love your, what is it, like, your skirt or your bangle.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Where did you get it from? And then she turns around and she goes to the Lindsay Lohan. She's like, I hate that fucking skirt.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's giving. Like,
yeah.
that is giving loser. No, I honestly, I think she was being complimentary.
Okay. When I say...
I've seen your office attire. Like, your office attire is cute. And anyone who thinks otherwise is just weird.
I'm not joking. For like half an hour, I was like really stressed. And then I was like, mentally, I was like, why are you even letting this get to you? Like, even if it is that. And then I switched off from it. But I was literally sitting at my desk and I was like, wait, did she mean... I felt like a dickhead. But yeah.
No, I hear you.
Anyways.
I need to fix up, seeing as we're just chatting, chat now. I need to fix up my office attire. I wear these same outfits all the time, and
But
I
that's
just wear
because you
black.
go in every day. I have the privilege
Yeah.
of only, I mean, really, I go in like twice. Next week I'm going in 3 times. But even then, I know, even then it's like, it's not 5 days a week. Like I can
Yeah.
kind of think around it.
I need to find some cute outfits for summer.
Mm,
I want to be doing midi skirt and pumps. Do you know what I mean?
yes.
Because I don't wear heels, so it needs to work with pumps.
I actually need to get Clarks apparently have really comfortable work shoes that are like kind of heeled. So I was going to invest. But also
I can't
it's
be
just
having
not in the
heels.
budget right now. It's just not.
No, it's not. And on that note, the cost of living crisis continues crisising. Guys, please continue listening to our podcast. We're here every Monday. If you have any work or life related dilemmas, please send them in to grownupspodcast@gmail.com or
DM us at Grown Ups Podcast.
thanks.
Bye.